Boost. It's the only resource in the entire game, and yet most players don't know how to manage it properly. Which is why today we are breaking down the keys to boost management in Rocket League. Since boost is a resource, the team that utilizes that boost the best is the team that will often come out on top in-game. The first key to good boost management is something that most players would think would be fairly obvious. But even in the higher ranks of the game, this issue is still fairly common. That issue is wasting boost. Now there are two main ways that I see this happening. Number one is a player will get up to supersonic speed and will just continue to use boost while they are supersonic and moving in a straight line. Once you reach supersonic, as long as you are moving straight forward, there is no need to continue to utilize boost. Now, if you are turning your car and you need to maintain that supersonic speed, then that is when you would utilize more boost to help your car make it through the turn while maintaining that supersonic. The second major case of wasting boost is when players utilize that boost to get from point A to point B, and they get to point B and they immediately hit the brakes. So now you've utilized a decent bit of boost to move a bit down the field and do absolutely nothing else. Boost is the only resource in the game. If you're going to use it, you need to justify the reason for doing so. And if you're going to go from one point on the field to another point on the field and then slam on your brakes, that proves that you could have just driven there instead of utilizing your one resource. Now, the second thing we want to talk about is the small pads on the field. Now, everyone knows that they should be picking up the small pads, but not everyone knows the best way to go about it. Allow me to showcase to you the two best small pad paths in the game. So the first one is what I like to call the triangle, and it surrounds each net on the field. On defense, if you ever find yourself on fairly low boost and you don't have time to go get one of the big pads in the corner, or maybe the big pads just aren't there at all, I highly recommend looking at this triangle path right here. Basically, it's this path of 5 boost pads right here, and that takes you up to 59 boost. So even in awkward situations on defense, when you are trapped in your defensive half, you will often have time to sneak out to grab 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 of these pads before getting back into a defensive position to make the next play on the ball. And due to the fact that with a decent jump, you can reach pretty much the crossbar with absolutely no boost, even just having 20 to 30 boost will be enough to make any save on the net. Now, this second boost path will be more useful in rotation, and I like to call this one the line, and it exists right here on the field. So if you line yourself up with this line of boost pads here, and just drive in a straight line, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boost pads, all from just driving in that straight line. So in your rotations around the field, this is a very useful line to be aware of and a very useful line to go for to pick up boost while you're rotating back. Let's say I've just made an offensive play and now I'm looking to rotate back. So the play is continuing along the left side of the field, so I can line myself up here on the right and just drive my way through these pads. And as I get downfield, if I notice I need to make a play on the ball at the net, I can just continue to take this last pad and rotate in. Meanwhile, if I have a bit more time, then instead, once I reach the point on the path that's around this area, I can decide, okay, I'm going to swing out wide to give myself some more time, and now I'm in here to make a play when I need to be. So those are the two paths that you really want to utilize on the field quite often. Both the triangle and the line each give you about 60 boost, which is more than enough to make any play that you would need to. The last key in terms of picking up boost is that you really want to avoid going out of your way for the big boost pads. 90% of the time, you can survive on the field on the small pads alone. The big boost pads are in the far ends of the field for a reason. They're not exactly always convenient to go for. If and when you are going to go for a big boost pad, you need to ensure that you are not taking yourself out of the play to do so. Obviously, if we're being threatened on defense and you're chilling in the net, and there is a shot that might be coming in the next couple of seconds, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for you to go all the way out here to pick this up, to now use a bunch more of it to come back, and now you're just sitting here. Where instead, even if you're, low boost, maybe you're 18, you can instead just like sneak out, go 1, go 2, and now you're so right around the net with basically about the same amount of boost and can make any play you would need to. The same thing is even true on offense. If we're continuing to push on offense, we can still attack this line, get 1, get 2, maybe get 3, and then look to turn back into the play without having to go all the way out of our way over here to pick up this boost to rotate back in. There is one more tip that we will cover as we get into examples in a replay here, and this one doesn't really have to do with picking up boost, but more what you do when you are on low boost in a game. Obviously, if you're going to be on low boost, maybe you're even all the way down to basically nothing, you can't really generate a whole lot of power on the ball. So what you want to do is you want to be patient and force out 50-50s with your opponents. Reason being, if you're on low boost and you try to clear the ball, this is what's going to happen. Oh look, I've just put the ball away from me, I have no ability to catch back up to it, and now I've just given my opponents a free ball, with now me having almost no time to rotate back to pick up more boost and be able to continue to defend. If you force a 50-50 out with your opponent when on low boost, you can often buy your teammates and yourself enough time to reset, and maybe even put the ball in a position that you can actually attack on offense. With all this now being said, let's take a look at an example of some of these principles in practice in a replay. We're going to take a look at 2 quick examples here that should showcase everything we were really talking about. So we've just come off of respawn here after getting demoed with our 33 boost. Ball looks like it's traveling across this way, with our teammate flipping over that direction, and Dory as well looking like they're coming over this way. Muse, on the other hand, looks like they've just landed on the wall and is driving out this way. So in this situation, we don't know exactly how much time we're going to have. Our teammate looks like they're in a bit of an awkward spot to be able to control this ball, so I would expect that there might be a challenge coming out between our teammate and Dory in just a little bit. So we want to make sure we're in a position to play solid defense. The key to this play is that as we come off of respawn, we don't immediately look for the big boost behind us as our #1 priority. Instead, we prioritize defending the net, and we look for the boost that we can pick up maybe along the way. So what we'll see here is utilization of the 1 triangle pad, and then because we're a little concerned about the position of the ball as well as trying to avoid demos, we're just going to rotate our way towards the net. We were planning on picking up the pad here, but Muse unfortunately just grabbed it. So now we're going to circle into net, but hey, 45 boost off of respawn, not a problem. We want to play a little bit patient here for the reason that our teammate is not yet back behind us, so is not yet in a position to make the next defensive play. Doesn't seem like there's an immediate threat of a hard, powerful shot from this position, so we can just chill for a moment, see what Dory's gonna do, and then work our way out to challenge effectively. So Dory's gonna pop this ball up. That's our cue to jump up with him. We're gonna utilize our boost to get up to this ball, put in the challenge, and we land with only 5 boost. Now, admittedly, this is a bit of a problem. With where the ball is, we don't have time to go really look for any pads on the field or anything like that, so we're going to just have to play off our instincts and hope for the best here. Ball bounces down. We can assume, based on the fact that we know we're awkward, so the opponent will definitely see that we're awkward, there's going to be another shot coming in here. The only thing we can really do in this situation is jump, try to cover as much of the net as possible, and hope the opponent hits it right into us. And luckily they do. Now here's where we'll see our next principle at work. So we are on 0 boost. What did we say we should do when we have control of the ball and we're on very low boost? Look for opportunities to force out 50-50s. The last thing we want to do in this situation is just hit this ball away from us. Reason being, Muse is starting to rotate back. If we just hit this ball away, it is very possible that Muse can just pick up control of it again and hit it right back into a dangerous position. So we're just going to take the ball nice and slow, keep it under control, look to force out 50s and see what might happen ahead of us. In this situation, our teammate bumps Muse off, So we try to speed this ball up to get it downfield, but unfortunately we're not able to beat out the last man retreating back in order to score the goal here, but we have worked our way out of defense and are no longer in a dangerous position. So we're going to pick things up one more time right here. As you can see, we're currently working our way back downfield with very low boost, but we are very close to some familiar boost pads. In this case, the line boost pads are right near us. So as we work our way down the field, we're going to pick up some of those on our way. Grab one there, one here, and now just like that, we're up to plenty of boost to be able to jump up and make a play on this ball. So even while keeping our eyes on the ball, we know where these boost pads are, and we're just able to pick them up in our rotation naturally. So we jump up and make a play here, don't get the best recovery, and we're gonna land with only 20 boost. So we are going to try to take time to look for boost. We take ball cam off for a second. Now in this instance, we could have decided to look for more of the triangle pads as we rotate around, but as we saw, our teammate was flat-footed on the ground and the opponent was coming in for the next challenge. So with that in mind, we want to be in net as fast as possible. So hey, if we can grab one boost pad and be up to above 30 and in net, that is more than enough to make any play we would need to. So we go ahead and grab one pad here, circle into net, and see what we can do. Ball pinches across. We can see in our cam already that the other opponent is over here. So they are a decent bit away. Doesn't look like they're charging in. So we're just going to let this ball go across. We're also not really in a position to jump up for it. So we don't really have much of a choice but to let this ball go across. But as you can see, we take off ball cam to see exactly where our opponent is. We recognize we have space, and we're going to try to take control of this. Once again, low boost. With slight control of the ball, we're going to take things slow. The ball does give us an unfavorable bounce, but we're going to stay right with it. Yes, we gave up the corner boost, but we don't care at all about that. We have 29 boost. That's fine to work with. We just want to keep control of this ball and try to force our way out of an awkward defensive situation. Unfortunately, we do get a little bit of a hard touch there, and it does give away control of the ball, but we did have the right idea in trying to play it close. So now, here's the big thing. We've landed. We have 7 boost. We need to get ourselves back in the play as quickly as possible. Now, a lot of players might have the tendency to look immediately off to the side here to see if this big boost is here. The problem with that idea is we are taking ourselves way out of the play to go get it, and based on the position of our car, we don't even know if it's there. And if we try to go get it and it's not there, there is nothing left on this side of the field for us to collect on our way back. So instead, we're going to look for what pads we can find. Well, there's one here in the midfield, and now if we look back down the way, we can see the ball is traveling off this way. So there's no immediate threat on the net, so that is great. So we can go ahead and rotate ourselves this way and look for more pads. Again, meeting up with our line down the field here, we can get 1, 2 pads here and be back in the net with an absolutely perfect amount of boost to be able to do whatever we would need to. And the key is we don't waste boosts as we make this rotation. We just drive, we put in 1 flip, and now we're back post with 43 boost. Arriving here exactly when we need to, we're able to jump up immediately and put a challenge in on this ball, and we get an absolutely banging 50-50 that booms the ball downfield. That's fantastic. So now we think, okay, great, we have time to pick up boost. But again, we are not going to make any commitment towards this corner boost. It was just taken a little while ago, and in the last time we took off ball cam, we saw that it wasn't there, so there's no reason to drive ourselves over there. Instead, we're going to utilize the pads around us again, do a little triangle action, finish it up with the line over here, and then rotate back if we need to, or be able to continue to push upfield should we have that opportunity. So we start to pick up pads again, moving fairly slowly. We see that Muse is going to have a bang downfield. We see that no one's really challenging it though, so that's fine. We can take time here. We picked up that 1 more pad, and now we can turn back and get ready to bang this ball forward. All along now, we're driving over the top of this big boost pad, and lo and behold, as it spawns, we get to pick it up. But even if it didn't spawn and we weren't able to get that 100, we still had 40 some odd boost, which would have been absolutely plenty to boom this ball downfield and get rid of all offensive pressure for our opponent. So that showcases how you can properly manage your boost and be comfortable playing in low boost situations. It's always important to remember that it will often be better to go for small pads instead of the big one, and now you know the paths you can take that can allow you to do that effectively. Additionally, if you find yourself on low boost, you want to keep control of that ball and force out 50-50s. You never want to just slap the ball away from yourself in a panic, as you are just bringing more pressure onto your defense. And lastly, you want to make sure that you're not wasting the boost that you do have, so you always want to make sure that you're doing something effective with the boost that you do use. Of course, if you guys do enjoy videos like this, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below this video so you don't miss any future Rocket League tip or coaching content. Additionally, if you'd like to be more involved in this community, make sure you go ahead and join my Discord, linked down in the description below. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys. And if you're looking for some more Rocket League entertainment, might I recommend checking out this playlist right here for some more keys to Rocket League just like this. Or check out this video over here to see if you could pass the ultimate Rocket League shooting test.